Welcome to today's lecture on strategic planning and agribusiness. So, are you ready to take your understanding of agribusiness management to the next level? So, in this session, we'll explore the strategic management process and how agribusiness can make smart decisions using tools like our SWOT analysis to stay competitive in the today's market. Whether you're a student, a professional, or someone passionate about agriculture, this lecture is designed to give you a practical insights that you can apply directly to the field. If you find value in this content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel and follow us for more updates. By doing so, you'll stay informed about future lectures and topics that will help you succeed in agribusiness and beyond. So let's get started. Stay tuned and let's dive in. A warm greetings to everyone and welcome to my lecture presentation about strategic planning in agribusiness. My name is Michael Victor A. Gonzalez from West Visayas State University, College of Agriculture and Forestry. So let's proceed our lecture proper. So what is strategic management process in agribusiness? So the strategic management is a systematic approach that helps agribusiness define their goals, assess internal and external environments, and develop a what we call actionable strategies for growth and competitiveness. So this is what we call a systematic. So there is a system that needs to be followed. So the process typically involves first is the goal setting. So in goal setting, we are establishing a clear long-term objectives for our agribusiness, such as an increasing market share, improving profitability, or expanding our operations. So that belongs to our goal setting. So you need to set your goal. How, if you want to expand, how wide the area that you want to target or you want to aim in terms of your production, how many tons or kilograms you want to attain for the season of cropping in your agribusiness. And if you're in your livestocks, how many livestocks that you want to aim to produce in your farm for that specific time period. Next to the goal setting is the environmental scanning. So what does it mean? The environmental scanning is analyzing both internal and external factors that affect the business. So we emphasize here internal or external factors. So this includes understanding market trends. So in terms of market trends, how does our current market is behaving in terms of their demand? Okay, so you need to uh, position your product in your agribusiness to get or capture that certain market trends that are uh, I'll give you a scenario. For example, the organic agriculture nowadays are trending because of its health benefit. So if you are into agribusiness, you can also venture into a what we call agriculture organic products that demands a higher value and also it demands a better branding in your farm. Another one is the regulatory changes. The regulatory changes might be policy that was been imposed by our government especially policies are being implemented in accordance to what is circumstances that is happening, especially during ASF, African swine fever. There are some regulatory changes that was being implemented to mitigate and to control the widespread of the virus. Okay, so there are regulatory changes where your environmental scanning should be on alert on how your business adjusts and be flexible so that your business can be able to mitigate any risk that could harm your operation. And also your consumer demands. You need to understand your consumer. So it also affects the prices. Nowadays, the demands of our customers are very vital to the success or failure of your business. So that is why you need to position your agribusiness in accordance to the demand of your consumer, because they're the consumers are the one who are going to purchase your products. Then another one is strategy formulation. This one is developing strategies that align resources with your business goals. So here we are having a what we call strategy. So this strategy should be aligned with available resources in your farm so that you can be able to hit your desired target or your goals. So if you are a rice producer in the Philippines, so since modern irrigation techniques to improve your yields can help you have a third cropping that could increase your production. And especially if you have an irrigation, have a good irrigation technique, you can be able to utilize the what we call this the high yielding varieties that can give a more or higher product or output in your farm. So this is part of your strategy formulation. That's an example. Next is the strategy implementation. So after you make a plan, then you need to implement. So the implementation is putting all the formulated strategies in action through your resource allocation. That is the time that you will allocate your resources aligned to what you planned so that it will generate an output. Your staff engagement, where your staff, your people will be able to um, uh, exercise or be able to perform their skills and abilities. That is where your strategy implementation should be implemented. And also your operational changes if necessary. So that is part of your implementation based on what you strategize that you need to adapt to the changing circumstances in our agribusiness operation. So there will be some changes that you need to apply. Next is our evaluation control. So the evaluation control, this will continuously monitor the performance and making adjustments to stay on track with your strategic plan. So you closely monitor your operation based on the parameters that you set so that you can be able to measure the performance. So what is the example of the parameters that will measure your performance? Well, number one, you may measure your yield. You may also measure your income. You can also measure your expenses. So these are the monitoring those are only an example that can be monitored so that you can be able to evaluate if your operations are performing very well and making adjustments to stay on track if necessary. Okay? The adjustments are being performed if the first plan is somehow it's not effective. So you make adjustments until you be able to to really meet the desired output so that your strategic plan will be able to attain. Okay, so in Philippine and Asian context, strategic planning is, or in agribusiness, is particularly crucial due to the challenges such as our fragmented land ownership. So in our setting, um, we fragmented land ownership is a common to our setting. And also, nowadays we are facing a what we call climate change. Uh, very when the time or season of rain, it the rain is so heavy. You know, it causes flooding and it damages our crops and even our livestock. So in times of summer or hot season, the weather is so very hot that um, causes the severe damage to our crops and even to the growth of our animals, of our livestock. So the climate change is very one of the major challenges that we face, and also the fluctuating commodity prices. So this one, the because there is what we call a demand and supply. So it always interplay of this economic principle. So if you can notice in the commodity of rice, there are in the Philippines currently we are flooded by the what we call foreign or imported rice, and because of the too much or because of the supply in the market, it also causes a fluctuating in the commodity prices that causes a significant impact to our farmers. So we are also discussing. In my previous lesson, I discussed thoroughly the impact of a rice tariffication law. So these are the factors that affecting um, our agribusiness in the Philippines. That is why strategic planning is somehow very crucial for in order for us to overcome these challenges. Next is strategic management helps agribusinesses such as those in the coconut or aquaculture sectors adapt to these challenges. Okay? Yes, because of this strategic management, we can be able to utilize the resources that on our possession, and we can be able to utilize it and pinpoint our desired target, for example, our target market, in order for us to reach this market and maximize our profit. Okay, so we need to adapt to these challenges while exploring opportunities like export markets and also value added products, especially in processing our raw product into a more uh, highly desirable products. So our government are somehow helping our farmers to um, generate or have a value added products in their operation. So in broader Asia, agribusiness firms in countries like Thailand and Vietnam utilize strategic planning to optimize a supply chain, enhance product quality, and meet global standards in the face of growing competition. So let's talk about the SWOT analysis and strategic choices in agribusiness. So what is SWOT analysis? It is a powerful tool that helps agribusiness managers assess their internal strengths and weaknesses, as well as external opportunities and threats. So it serves as the foundation for making a what we call strategic choices. So you weigh uh, uh, circumstances. You weigh your resources based on this parameter: the strength, the weakness, the threats, and opportunities. So you measure it If you think that it gives you more strength and also opportunities, while the threats and weaknesses are manageable, then making a decision to risk or to make risk in that area is somehow uh, you have the confidence, or somehow you can be able to manage the foreseen uh, challenges in that choice or decision that you will take. Okay, so here we do have a strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So the strengths are the internal factors which is within your operation that gives your agribusiness a competitive edge. So that is your strength, such as, for example, if you have an advanced technology, or if you have a skilled labor, or a strong brand recognition. For instance, in the Philippines, a farm specializing, as I mentioned in the previous slides, organic product or organic produce may have a strength in meeting the growing demand for a healthier food option, which you can demand a higher price. While our weaknesses is the internal limitations that need to be addressed. It is a within your operation. You have a missing or considered to lacking in that area of your operation. For example, if you don't have a advanced technology, you're still using an outdated machinery. So your possible weaknesses is automation, and you are currently, for example, you are currently in a manual labor that you are still producing a minimal output. Another form of weakness is your limited capital that hinders you to expand your operation, or a lack of market access due to not expanding using online platform or other um, modern way of doing a marketing. So that is one uh, way to recognize your weaknesses. So it's not bad to determine your weaknesses, but it is good for us to determine this area where we can improve, where this area can give us an opportunity to expand or to innovate. So let's proceed to the opportunities. These are what we call an external factors that the business can exploit, that can supplement your weakness, such as the government incentives. So if you don't have for example, if you don't have any capital, or if you have limited capital, you might inquire and look for the opportunities that the government can help you to generate that desired capital or desired facilities in your operation. And also emerging markets or technological advancements. These emerging markets or technological advancements can be seek through researches. Okay? An example is the ASEAN Free Trade Area, which offers Philippine agribusinesses reduced tariff for exporting products across uh, Southeast Asia. So if you have a good product quality and it passes to the standard, you can be able to exploit that opportunity to expand your market if you don't have that market of that certain product. Then let's proceed to threats. The threats are external challenges like natural disaster, regulatory changes, or market saturation. So in Asia, this is an example of climate change poses a significant threat to our agribusiness that rely heavily on stable weather patterns. So you need to determine what crops are highly dependent on a stable weather patterns. And by determining these threats, you may also explore opportunities on how to stabilize your operation. you can use technology, you can use housing, or whatever means to support your operation to mitigate these uh, challenges. Okay, the strategic choice in agribusiness based on the SWOT analysis. So, an agribusiness managers must make a strategic decision, such as growth strategies, expanding into new markets, or diversifying your products to reduce risk. Okay, that is part of your growth strategies. Next is your cost leadership. So if you're implementing efficient production methods to lower your cost and offer a competitive pricing. And then there is what we call differentiation. This one is creating a unique value proposition. So such as the premium quality products or sustainability certification to stand out in the market. So you are positioning your product that that is unique or it possesses a higher quality compared to your competitors. So in terms of our agricultural product, um, certifications, for example, organic certifications, can be able to position your product portraying in the market of a higher quality, a more nutritious product that can demand a higher price. So that is what we call differentiation. You establish your product different to the market, including your packaging, including your branding, including to the standard of um, meeting the standard of that existing product compared to your competitors. Next is your focused strategies. Concentrating efforts on niche markets like organic farming or specialty crops that have less competition and higher profit. So you are concentrating your effort to this what we call niche market. So you really want to capture that group or market segment that uh, we recognize, and you want to target that market that in your assessment by making that decision of pursuing that niche can give you a more higher profit. So in the Philippines and Asian context, agribusinesses often leverage government programs like the Department of Agriculture's initiatives to access funding, training, and market linkages. For example, developing high value crops such as a cacao and coffee aligns with our strategic growth objectives. Similarly, agribusiness firms in countries like Thailand employ strategic choices that emphasize a value-added products and sustainable farming practices to remain competitive in local and international markets. So for our references in our lesson, so here's the list that we gathered for this lecture proper. So thank you for watching my lecture in this topic. So anticipate another lecture for the continuation of our discussion. Thank you and have a wonderful day to everyone.